Hey everybody, welcome to the man cave. It's an absolute pit in here, so I'm sorry for that, but basically I'm trying to take up some video here. We've got a disc I need to finalize, and it's not very full, so I had some thoughts and on pistol choices. I guess that's the first thing I want to talk about. And really, I'm no expert with a pistol. I'm actually not that great at shooting pistols. I'm getting better. But my thoughts were on preferences for the way a pistol functions. And I used to be a big fan of external hammers and safeties and things like that. And my first pistol, you guys have seen it before, is the old H&K USP 45 external hammer. The one I got is single double. It's got a safety selector switch hammer drop on it. It's a good pistol. I like it a lot. However, to get this into action quickly, I found that it just doesn't really fit. I have a preferred method of getting this into action, and I rarely get it done right. And there's some things that can go wrong, which I'm going to show you now. Basically, let's say you're wanting to carry this in probably what I would consider to be the safest carry, and this is not a carry pistol. I don't want to leave the impression that I'm saying that this is a carry pistol, but let's say I want to carry this in the most combat ready and safest position, in my opinion, would be fully loaded, chambered, hammer down, and you can hammer that down either way that you normally do it. Now it'll go to that half cock position if you use the hammer drop, which is preferable because it's not gonna go off. It is still double action, so it's got the long heavy trigger pull, but it's easier to get your thumb on if you want to do it that way. When you draw this, if you want to pull that back, that's fine. Now at that point, I suppose you could leave it on fire. I don't know that that's a good idea. It has a safety for a reason. Now, you're probably okay because of that long trigger pull in doing so, and it's a pretty heavy pull when you do that. So you could leave it on fire, I suppose. I don't know, but but anyway, when you draw it in this condition, or let's say you have the hammer back for some reason, but or if that's your preference, and I don't know, I mean there's different theories out there on it, and you go to flip that off of safety, it's pretty easy to accidentally push that too far when I'm kind of on the wrong side. But when I sweep that down, I sweep it down pretty hard because I don't want to mess with it. I just want to get it down. Now you can probably practice and get pretty used to drawing that out and sweeping it down. You draw that out, you sweep it down, you don't sweep it down too far. So you could do that. Anyway, it's one more thing to go wrong, I think, is what I'm trying to get at. It's not necessarily that it's a bad thing, it's just one more thing to go wrong. Okay? Now, what I tend to do is I carry this when I'm out, camping and whatnot. I carry this, it loaded up, not chambered. Okay, I carry it just like this, safety on. That's not the fastest way necessarily to get it into action, and it's a two-handed way to get it into action. It requires both hands, because when I draw this, and you'll see me, it's a little slow. I draw this, and I rack the slide and chamber it, and then I sweep it off of safety. Now what I prefer to do, what I want to do, is when I draw it, sweep it off of safety. As I'm pulling it up, rack the slide. That's the way I should do that, because then there's no chance that I'm going to do that. I'm sweeping it off of safe before I'm racking it, then it's ready to fire. So that's the way I prefer to do that. I rarely do it that way, and I think it's just that when I got this pistol, I would always rack the slide first, then sweep it down, which is fine, but if you sweep it too far, it's going to drop it. Then you've got that really long, heavy double action pull compared to the fairly light and easy and crisp single action pull. So that's that. Now, the only other pistol I have is the old Kel-Tec PF9. Definitely more of a carry gun, and it's sort of the Glock style in a way. It's not as close to a Glock as what I'd like, but it is, no safety, and not a terrible trigger. That's the part I don't like. I wish it had a Glock trigger, and it's not horrible, and it's worked down to be a little more manageable than it was when I first got it. But this isn't a bad little gun. I really need to contact Kel-Tec because I'm still having issues with it extracting far more often. I expect it to function properly every time, but even if you had a little margin of where you're getting some bad ammo or something, I really would only expect that to happen every once in a while. So I need to get in contact with them and get that fixed. I'm sure it can be a very good gun. I'm growing to like it a little more and more and more. But it's definitely easier. You carry that chambered. Make sure you got your trigger covered up. I didn't bring my holster out here. I've got a DeSantis Tuck this too. That's not perfect, but it's okay. Cover that trigger up. When you draw that, just make sure you're aware of your primary safety. Make sure you're aware of that and where it is, and make sure you maintain where it is, and it's quick to get into action. Now, you could carry this unchambered. A lot of people are going to jump on you if you do that, and there's good evidence to. Currently, I carry it unchambered because I don't have my concealed carry yet. Not the best target in the world, but I have taken the class. And I'm waiting now. I'm waiting on the government, So, anyway, at some point, I am going to carry chambered. That makes a ton of sense. This is a safe pistol. It's not going to go off on its own. It requires something to pull that trigger, and it's a slightly long, heavy trigger for a reason. Now, if you've got a Glock, it's a little bit lighter of a trigger, but it's still not a hair trigger. So, a lot of people are going to jump on you if you mention carrying unchambered, simply because you are it's going to require two hands, or you're going to have to do the old, and you probably can't see this, you're going to have to do the old, run it down your pants, and to get that chambered. Which is it's possible, but you draw it out and you run it down your pants. Oh, I got it. Now I don't know that it would have fed. That's the big key. You could kind of short stroke it if you do that and don't do it right, and then you're running around with an unloaded gun that you think is loaded. No bueno. So. Definitely carry safely, but these are designed to carry chambered. So just be careful with them and all that. With your usual safety rules, you're fine. Not a big deal. So I could carry this around all day long, and it's not just going to go off unless something pulls the trigger. So you don't want to get in a situation where you need both hands to get it into action. And you don't have both hands. And there's a lot of good videos out there where people are demonstrating how much longer it takes to get one into action. I lived under the illusion that I could get an unchambered gun into action basically as fast as someone with a chambered gun, and I didn't think it would be exactly the same speed, but almost as fast is sort of a flawed term. Because when you're talking about a complete engagement of something like 3 seconds, that half a second is an extremely long time. So there are good videos out there. The one I saw that I thought was the best was I believe the name, and I should know this because I've watched quite a few of her videos, but I believe it's Lima Life, and I may be not pronouncing that right, but had a great video where she had a guy come at her with a rubber knife. I think it was a rubber knife to stab her, and they counted how many times she got stabbed before before her gun got into action, and it was a huge difference. So I'd encourage anybody that wants to go check that out. So just the differences in the styles of pistols. There's nothing wrong with this style, but it's not for me when it comes to carrying. There's just too much to remember, too much muscle memory that you're going to have to develop with this, with the hammered, safety, all that kind of stuff. It's not wrong. A lot of people use these styles with the safety and the levers and the the hammer and everything. They use them well. So I'm not knocking it by any means. It's just my ideas on the easiest and fastest way to get something into action. The Kel-Tec may not be it, but it's not far from it. Fastest way to get a gun into action. A little lightweight, striker fired, that kind of a deal. So anyway, I've said enough. So thanks, guys, and be safe and be responsible. And I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but be good, responsible gun owners. If you're carrying, be good, responsible gun carriers, gun owners, keeping and bearing arms. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. So do it well. Later, guys.